Blessings, blessings, grace and peace. Good morning, Kingdom people. It's Apostle Terrence checking in, Kingdom Media Foundation. What's going on? Good morning. The glory of the Lord is here. The glory of the Lord is here. Feeling good today. It's colder than a mug outside. And it's just South Carolina cold, not New York cold, but you know your body adapts, so it's still cold. But I'm feeling good. All is well on this side. I hope y'all are doing well. Listen, joy can thrive in any environment. You may not even know where your employment might be threatened, or you know what I'm saying? You might have stuff breaking down around you and people might be acting crazy around you, but you don't have to lose joy. Joy can remain with you, so just go ahead and commit to having joy and being joy this day. But listen, I wanted to share some things with you while I'm on my commute. Hopefully this will bless you. Hopefully this will bless you. I know that there are times that we recognize things that we need to change. We recognize things that we can do better at. And we make our New Year's resolutions, and you know, people who do that. And we go back to the drawing board and say, I'm going to do this year, and I'm going to not do this, and I'm going to go through all of that. And sometimes it's good to have a benchmark or whatever. But sometimes we have to recognize that we have God-ordained weaknesses. God-ordained weaknesses. I know that sounds kind of strange, because religion and institutions will constantly try to make you conform or change into this model, into this mold that fits in with everybody else. Be a cookie cutter. So they say be an individual that's a part of a team, but a lot of times there's not an environment that is conducive for unique people or people who are different than the masses. And even if it's not said vocally, what is being modeled is be like me, and we all need to be alike. And you know, a lot of times when there is speech about, you know, everybody having their part and doing their share, that's said for work to be done, but it's not celebrated. And especially our weaknesses. Now, just know this before I get into this. I'm not talking about moral weakness. I'm not talking about God ordaining for people to, you know, have proclivities for sin. I'm not talking about God condoning immoral behavior. That's not what I'm talking about. We all have immorality and have weaknesses there that needs to be addressed, and he deals with those things accordingly. What I'm talking about is just things, natural things that we're not good at. And I also want to say this, because we are made in the image and likeness of God, we have the ability to learn things that we are not regularly good at. We have the ability to learn things, and we have the ability to adapt and change. So for instance, if you have somebody that is very creative but is not organized, if we put all of our attention toward being organized, we have the ability to grow in that area. We have the ability to become more organized and more, you know, systematic, but at what expense, right? So if you're from the camp that says, you know, focus on your weaknesses, then at what expense? When I spend my time trying to be more organized, when I'm more naturally creative, and I actually create more chaos in my creativity. If I then recognize I'm not organized and I need to become more organized, because being more organized is more godly, and being more godly, you know, this reflects God's image. So I have to be more organized to be alike. right? So then I devote my attention to being organized, and then I kill my creativity in the process. Because it takes a certain level of freedom and liberty and disregard for what is in order to create what is not. But if I devote my attention to that, I can become more organized. But like I say, at what expense? To what expense? So I'm not talking about human potential. We have the potential to nurture anything that we're not good at and become better. Because we're humans, we have the ability to learn, observe, and adapt things and grow and watch other people be good at things and develop that. And all of that should be done to a certain degree. All of that should be done on a certain level. But at the same time, we should not, and I repeat that because my signal is weak and I don't know what part is skipping, but we should not devote all of our attention toward trying to change to fix what is weak at the expense of denying who we are and focusing on what we are called to do. Why? Why does God ordain weakness? God ordains weakness because it creates an economy for other people. Yes, your economy is connected, is hooked up with somebody else's deficiency. Your economy is directly connected to what somebody else is not good at. Now, when I say your economy, I'm not talking about the stock market. I'm not talking about your bank account. I'm talking about the resources and wealth within your spirit, in your soul, in your physical body, in your ability to produce wealth, your ability to produce abundance. All of that ability that's in you, all of that is called your economy. All of the resources within you, they work because somebody else needs them. Now, somebody may not, it might be a time issue. It might be real busy and they don't have time to clean their house the way they want it clean. They don't have time to do that and everything else that they're doing. Somebody might say, well, make time. Well, maybe you're supposed to create an economy for somebody else who has the administration and cleaning gift, the hospitality gift. Maybe we should be, instead of trying to change ourselves so much, we should be trying to utilize our weaknesses to attract us to those who have the answer, to those who have the ability, to those whose strength is that particular thing. I'll say it again, that God ordains certain weaknesses so that he can create an economy for other people. Oh my goodness. Just think if nobody had the gift of hospitality. Just think about that. Just think about if nobody had the gift of administration. People are not organized and detailed and administrative just for themselves. There is a part of it that helps them rule and govern, but the other part of it is to help others who are not administrative function properly. It is to come alongside visionary type people who can bring order and can bring some kind of stability to a fragile vision, or to an idealistic view that is sensitive. I don't even know if I'm making sense right now to somebody. What I'm trying to say is religious institutions, and basically all institutions, exist to try to keep us to conform to something, or keep us to maintain some kind of systematic order. So a lot of times the people who flourish in institutions are organizers or managers, or people who need things to be the same to maintain them. But we don't just need maintenance people. We don't just need managers. We also need pioneers and visionaries. But no matter who you are, whether you're a manager, whether you're a pioneer, whether you're a visionary, no matter what kind of leader you are, no matter what kind of gifts you have, everybody has weaknesses. And if you devote all of your energy to trying to build up your weakness, then you have no time to flourish in your strength. So what we should do is utilize our weakness to help us look for and attract those people who have the ability to come alongside us and help us with that so that we can focus our attention on our God-ordained tasks. What am I saying? Don't worry about your weakness? No, I'm not saying that, because sometimes the weaknesses that we have, we need to fix them because they are directly connected to our success in our field. But then we have to know when it's time, when we outsource, and we need to know when it's something we can devote our own attention to and do ourselves. Because every time you devote your attention to something, that's going to take away from something else you can be doing. And I come from the school of focus on your strengths, focus on your abilities. Like I said, I'm not talking about moral weaknesses, but focus on your strengths and your abilities, flourish there, and then let somebody else clean up the carnage. Let somebody else clean up that thing. If you flow in one area, let somebody else who likes to do the menial tasks do the menial tasks. Or if you like to do the tedious little small detail things, then don't try to also be the visionary and be the vision caster. Let somebody else cast vision and you come alongside their vision and perfect it, make it on point. What's my point is God ordains weakness so that everybody can eat. When you think about what a community is, think about a community that has everybody that's strong in the same thing. You know, I know this sounds kind of like, yeah, many members, this is how this is usually applied. Many members, one body, you know, every joint supplies. And that is true, but I'm not just talking about in a church employment type setting. I'm talking about for all of humanity. I'm talking about this is how the whole world, this is how all of creation, this is how the galaxy works. God creates in layers. Let me just bless you with something, just in case you didn't know. Everything God does, he does in layers and degrees in terms of creativity. There are different levels, layers, and degrees in everything. There's different layers when you start talking about the sea. There's shallow waters and then there's deep waters. Different layers. There's different sediments. There are different layers of the earth's crust. Different layers. There's also different layers. You know, you got the ozone. You got different levels of the atmosphere. With different levels of thickness and texture and touch. There are different levels of sounds. There are high sounds and there are low sounds and sounds in between. There are different levels. There are different degrees of smell. There are strong smells. There are light smells. And anything that God has created, he's given creation the ability to sense them on different levels, layers, and degrees. This is very important to understand, because the variation that we operate in, whatever field we're talking about, whatever variation we have, it creates the economy for somebody else. If you think about, let me say it like this, you think about a puzzle piece. If you really look at a puzzle piece, that puzzle piece has a big hole, a crazy looking hole that is right up in that piece, messing up that picture, so to speak. Messing up the piece in that picture, not having the full picture in it, has a big cut or indentation inside that puzzle piece. And it doesn't really make sense sometimes until it's connected to another thing that is connected to another thing, so that the whole thing will create the beautiful picture. If the puzzle piece is so fixed on itself becoming or filling up that gap with itself, it will never become a part of the puzzle. So it's about connectivity. It's about divine alignment. It's about being joined to the right thing, to the right people, for the right reason. You are meant to be connected to those who do not have the same abilities you have, because it helps them fulfill their purpose. This is why God ordained weaknesses for us. You know, we need to get out of that trying to fix every weakness. That's why when we talk about accept yourself, embrace yourself. Some people like to talk about having no makeup, right? Having no makeup, just being natural. That's what, and this time I'm not even trying to be funny. I'm trying to be real serious right now. But some people flourish even more so when they enhance their features with colors, where they enhance their features with base. Everybody not meant to be natural. Let me say this. If that was the case, God would not have allowed for that technology, for that even that thought spark of creativity to come in somebody's mind, to produce colors to put on our faces. I'm telling you, it's something about that, because some people think that, it's not God's will. It's just be who you are. If nobody saw any joy or saw any desire in putting any kind of color on their face and nothing like that, then that would crush the whole economy, and it would crush the whole purpose of creativity. Some people are creative in producing lipsticks and producing, formulas for foundations and producing eyeshadows or whatever the case may be. That whole thing will be abandoned. We just have to put it on mannequins but the whole point of it is that God has given us certain proclivities, weaknesses, so that when we connect with the right invention, when we connect with the right thing, those things connected will beautify us. It will beautify us. It makes us better. Some people like me, I know when I wear jeans, I like to wear jeans, sweatshirts. I like to wear comfortable things, I like to wear those things. They make me feel good. I would rather wear them all the time. But I know with my body type, when I put on a suit, I know that makes me look on a whole nother level. Like, I know that stands out. If people are used to that contrast, or when they see the contrast, he used to his hoodies and his boots. And when I put on the suit, it just makes a difference. You know what I'm saying? So some people flourish. Females first when they put on a dress versus when they just wear slacks, whatever. When they put on a dress or something, it just makes them stand out. But somebody had to design those suits. Somebody had to design that dress, But if we weren't interested in that, because we're all just doing the same thing, or if all of us were making and producing dresses and suits, and nobody would have the time to wear them. I'm trying to speak to something right now. I'm speaking not only to we all need each other, but I'm really trying to speak to the industrial and to the creative component in that, and the financial component, the resource component, and that is connected to our marketability, and it's also connected to our economy, and it's connected to our purpose, or the thing that brings glory, the thing that produces excellence and glory from us, relies upon other people's weakness, other people's lack of ability. Everybody can't set themselves a haircut. Now, watch, everybody can't wear a bald head. I'm going to be kind of funny here, but some people God gave a big head, too big of a head, so that their bald head don't look right. Why? Because he needed to employ the barber. Now, when they, give them a fro. Or if they had the braids or whatever the case may be, and cover that head up. Right? So, whatever we need, God has given us gifts to humanity, creative gifts in the form of abilities and talents, and all of our industries are based upon that situation. All of our industries. Thank God that I'm not out there in the field collecting things so that I can eat, or collecting things that I can wear. Thank God that, through technology and modernism and civilization expanding and growing, they produce stores that you can go in, cotton that's already woven together, and drinks and foods that have already been put together, so that I don't have to go out there and hunt or do whatever. But somebody had to do it. Somebody had to collect. Somebody had to go and catch fish. Somebody had to go and weave things together, or build an industry that had machines. Somebody had to build the machines so that they can run the machines and do mass creation of products. So God ordains weaknesses. That's what I'm saying to you. He ordains gaps And you can force it because you have the potential. You have God-like potential. You can force the issue. But while you're forcing yourself to try to be what you're not, or while you're forcing yourself to try to feel what you don't have, what you can do, our potential is limitless. You'll spend too much time trying to learn something that you're not supposed to learn while you're not excelling in that which He's already given you a head start in. So I just want you to consider that. I want you to think about that when we start talking about purpose and economy. Everything that is around you, everything that you have, everything that you utilize, produce an economy for somebody else because it was a weakness in you, or it was something that enhanced your ability. Somebody might not want to call it a weakness. Okay, you have things that can be enhanced, right? So once we understand what it is that we've been given to enhance others, and we can celebrate that, now you can also combine interests and combine strengths to create something new. We can always grow in other words, if we spend more time growing in what we're strong in, it will still take eternity for us to complete it, because we have eternity in our hearts. So you're never going to run out. You're never going to arrive to where you can't grow. But you should grow in what you flourish in already, and thrive in what you already are excellent in, or what you already have the proclivity for, instead of trying to force something that's not in you to do. And you have to do it by force instead of by nature and divine alignment. So that's my word for you today. Embrace that you may not be great at organizing. Embrace that. Find an organizer and collaborate. Embrace that you're not really one who is artistic, and you draw and illustrate and create and design. Embrace that that's not you. Employ somebody else so that they can do that, so you can still fulfill your assignment. Embrace that stuff. Sometimes you have to do things by yourself because you don't have the resources to buy it, to purchase it. But then sometimes you have to learn how to be creative and barter services. So maybe there may not be a money exchange, but there may be a trade exchange. There may be a talent exchange, maybe a gift exchange, until you can bring in resources like that. Anyway, that's the word. Think on it, speak on it, comment. If you disagree with that, then tell me why. And if you agree, then let me know. Grace and peace.